available money for research and development, and it's there now, and it'll probably come up again in 6 months, I would think. So if you don't get approved this time, it might be worthwhile to go ahead and resubmit and go through the steps to get the paperwork put in this time so that you know what you have to do next time.
It pays to hire a grant writer.
With
they
this
know
program, you don't need one.
Hire
It's really, no, it's not that bad. But if you've done some work with DOE or government contractors, stuff like you probably.
That's what I was gonna ask, how many pages do you have to fill
That's
out?
like 20 pages and stuff, but.
How many?
It's
20
quite-
pages.
You can download it, after you get your DNS number, you'll be able to download the forms, and then you'll be able to see what all you have to provide. But the point is, if you're really looking at this as a business, or if you just want to do research, like if Jake could get a research grant, 500 grand, put his shop together, put his dyno in there, which I hope to hire Jake. If we can get a shop built and get the right equipment and hire Jake to come in there and do our tests for us and help us do the testing right, because he's fresh out of school, you know. That's perfect, and besides, he's already in hydrogen, so my point is, the money's available. All we have to do is find out where it's at, and if we can help each other fill out the forms. Let's say one guy's really good at filling out forms, and he likes doing it, you know. Hey, help me out, buddy.
What about trying to,
Sign me up.
I mean, I do that with friends of mine, so that's how I find things out, so.
what about trying to do some kind of a, because a lot of the issue with the, especially these grants, they want you to have some kind of organization. So you need to have an LLC or something. I wonder if maybe we could make a section of the institute to try to get funding.
Well, I'm incorporated, and I'm willing to umbrella and all that.
I guess I'm just saying, maybe something that's not company oriented, that it's kind of what we need is information that, you know, no one's gonna try to make money off of, which, you know, they can down the road, but like, as an institute, you know, when a university does something, you know, they just publish it. And we need stuff that gets published out in the, you know, in these technical journals.
There's a college in Orlando, and I don't know the name of it, but I can find out. The college wants to turn into an advanced study college for new technologies like this, fuel technologies. They want to completely switch over to that, and they've already put in funding requests for grant money, and they have the grant money available, and now they're looking for what they're going to do. And a friend of mine's got his proposal in for his vaporizer, which is on my van. And anyway, the hydrogen is still witchcraft, even there, where they're looking at new technologies. So when I submitted my proposal to them, I never even got a reply, whereas he did, because vaporization of fuel is more acceptable to a lot of people who are college-educated electronics engineers, things like that, because vaporizing fuel is pretty well known that it will help to release more energy from the fuel. So it's more acceptable than hydrogen, which is still kind of witchcraft.
Well, at my university, in my department, they specialize in biofuels. I mean, biodiesel, they have guys looking at cellulose, ethanol, a bunch of different things. And, you know, they were, you know, one of the guys, they were supportive in the department. I had a major professor, they were supportive to do a grant last fall. It was called the Idaho Sustainability Grant, and, you know, we submitted to that, and, you know, they didn't approve, but the department was willing to. They're willing to do the research. It's just, you know, the university doesn't have money. They get money.
You have to pay for testing to be done.
And so they, you know, they do it. You know, it's just, you gotta be able to say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and we have this funding. Otherwise, you know, I could probably go in, my professor, if I had the money, and say, you know, I'd like to do a PhD on this or something.
Yeah, hey.
But you gotta have the money. You know, I gotta have the money to live, and, you know, so.
I think we should take it a little further, an extra step further, and get to the schools and the college, like newsletters, and get more people involved. And they have, like, the different electric companies, Simco here, will reach out. They have a community advertisement. It'll reach out to over 30,000 people around here. And, you know, for next year, we can really build this thing up in this area, and we can do it in Florida, and do it here, and do it, you know, in Vermont, and do it in different, you know, in Idaho. I mean, we do it all over. you know, and get this thing really, really big. I mean, if we're really the pioneers, we really need to get organized and get ourselves set up so we can really get this thing down to the fine tooth comb, because if everybody's on the same page and getting a standard, thing for measuring, I think that's great. I think that's a big giant step we did today. But, you know, I think we should take it further and get more people with these colleges and schools, and then parents have to drive the kids to school, you know, to come here. And this whole room be filled up and people out there just trying to get in here. I mean, that's how big this thing is. I mean, you know what we got here? I mean, this thing's really dynamite.
We're all aware of what we've got.
And we need to, you know, we're like the movement, you know? We just need to.
Yeah, we know how big it is.
To get money, I believe that we need to have, there needs to be, slowly get papers into the, into the journals that are peer reviewed, so that, you go to get a grant, go to university, try to do a project or something, you can say, oh yeah, and, the one big journal, International Hydrogen Energy or something like that, they publish a lot of stuff. I mean, that's where I found a lot of my papers. And I think if we can slowly get this evidence instead of it's just, YouTube or whatever, get actual peer-reviewed papers, and I think it'll be a lot easier to move forward, because, we need to have proof like that, and then it'll be a lot easier.
There's a lot of politics involved, and another way to go about that is the university professors and that are in the energy arrangement. If we can bring them in and kind of partnership with them and using them for front end would be much easier to get funding. A lot of stop production of alternative energies because of tax base being lost already is trying to be shut down, as you already know. And people that you might partner up with is like the coal companies. By God, they get tax breaks and unbelievable. And other energy companies, coal and oil, get them big time. And when you talk about alternative energies in our arena, that they're doing everything to kick us out. So you might, even think about like the fuel gasification. Well, you'll get a grant for that because it is an interest in the political domain for tax revenue coming in back into Congress. So you kind of got a joint venture with coal, gasification. You might even take a coal substance and put into our product to